touchback, a lazy touchback. Rodriguez capitalizes on that, decides to punch down the left side of the field. Service inside the box to Lamar. Lamar now on the cross back to Rodriguez. That's finally broken up by the Wolves. So nice hustle there by Rodriguez. Is the senior really trying to make something happen here for the Braves? As they're still down 1-0 here against Smid Tech out of Los Angeles. They did tie yesterday against Woodrow Wilson 1-1. Jacob Gilliard goal scorer there yesterday, as Lamar decides to have a turn and go, and that's well wide but deflected out of bounds. So it will be the third quarter of the match for your Braves, as it looks like it will be Rodriguez on the corner. So you're looking for an in-swinging kick from the corner flag, as the Braves start on the far side of the 18-yard box, decide to run in, and it is an in-swinging ball and headed down right on Aurelio's forehead, but that is wide of the goal. So in the 23rd minute here from Bosco Tech in Rosemead, 1-0 your score, as the Braves trying to get something going here early on in the second half. Haven't been rewarded yet with that goal, as they're down 1-0. As almost tries to go downfield along the far side of the field, and that sails out of bounds. Right idea, just unfortunate technique there. Sails out of bounds for a Wolves throw. And this is a preseason tournament for your Braves before they gear up for the Trinity League. Their opening match will be against Santa Margarita on January 9th. As they're utilizing these preseason tournaments to really determine some sort of formation and lineup, as they're going with a 4-3-3 in this game. A couple games ago, they did go with a 4-1-4-1. And that lineup ultimately won the game for them, winning 2-0. And Loma now on the left side of the field decides to go inside of the box, having a service, and sails just over the goal and out of bounds for the Braves. So the Braves really just, trying to reward themselves here early on in the second half. They have definitely put in the work for a goal. Just hasn't come yet. And a bouncing ball ends up to Macias. Him and Sarmiento trying to earn the possession back for the Braves. It will be a Wolves throw-in. The Braves donning their navy blue with white collar uniforms here this morning. In the 27th minute, still down 1-0 here. Wolves on a throw-in, and a sloppy one it was, as Rodriguez now plays the ball forward to Lamar, and he is offsides. First offsides on the Braves this morning, as Wolves already have been drawn offsides 3 times. Lamar, the big 6-foot senior for your Braves, plays center mid at 175 pounds. He is up top, though, this morning, as they run in a 4-3-3. Alpha the head of Nold now. The ball goes back to the Wolves and up the far side of the field. Ultimately out of bounds to the Braves. Martinez now on the throw. And Lamar trying to jostle back and forth for possession, ultimately giving that ball up. And a little flick on from the Wolves, trying to catch Torres and that defensive line off guard, and does not work. And Bosco earns a free kick here on the far side of the field. So 26th minute here, 1-0 your score. The Wolves over your Bosco Braves. The Braves really playing a a good game here with possession and chances, scoring chances, and ultimately hasn't put anything up on the board. But they are playing a solid game defensively. Just one miscue on that back line early on in the first half produced a goal for the Wolves. As it is now a throw in along the far side of the field. Martinez on the quick restart here. Throws it into Rodriguez. Sends it all the way downfield to Lamar. That's off of his foot and back to the defenders of the Wolves. And a miscue now from Smid Tech, and unable to capitalize there on a empty net was Lohman, as the keeper, Aurelia, just misplaced that ball off of his foot, spun right into Lohman's wheelhouse, and he struck it right over the crossbar out of bounds. So a defensive miscue by the Braves produces a goal by the Wolves, and a miscue by the Wolves defensively almost produces a goal for your Braves. In the 23rd minute now for the Braves, Macias on the throw. And last touch by the Wolves, dancing along the sideline, nearly out of bounds, stays in, and Macias now with possession. And Rodriguez go 1-2. Sarmiento now finds Lamar down the left side of the field. Tries to dance around a few defenders, and Lohman now finds Aurelio, and that is ultimately offsides. Referee all over that. The assistant referee, I don't believe, called that one. Actually, it was just the head referee in the center, as Lohman played that through ball to Aurelia, and he was offside. 1-0 your score in the 23rd minute here from Bosco Tech in Rosemead. The Winter Tech soccer tournament, preseason tournament for the Braves. The Wolves now trying to serve the ball in, and deflected easily off of Nold and out of bounds for a Wolves throw. And Nold, a really strong player on the ball and off the ball. As he plays center back, 5'10", 180 junior for the Braves. Really has no problem shouldering off any defenders, and it's proven to be so early on here in the second half as well. So the Wolves now, well outside the 18-yard box, about 30 yards out, tries to have a service inside, and that's ultimately deflected out by the Bosco defense. As Lohman now on possession back to Martinez. Martinez tries to go upfield and sails out of bounds for the Braves. So in the 22nd minute here, I see a slew of players kind of warming up, trying to mix something up here, as assistant coach Gabe is Braves trying to get on board here. They are dominating possession and scoring chances. Unfortunately, nothing in the back of the net. The lone goal that they did put in was disallowed by the head referee on an offsides call. As Lamar now with possession to Aurelia. Sarmiento now to Macias. Macias trying to get past his defender, and nothing doing there. Nold now, strong defensively, will shoulder his way to the ball. Plays it back to Torres. And Rodriguez now, nice ball down the near side of the field, and that is Lohman. Nice play by Lohman, too, to bring that ball down off his chest and out of bounds for a Braves throw-in. As Molina, Proust, Gill, and Carpentier will come in for Macias. Trying to see the other plays here. Macias, Aurelia, Lamar, and Lohman. So Gill, Carpentier, Gill, Carpentier, Proust, and a long throw-in for the Braves in their attacking third. On the back door, Sarmiento has a go. And nice save by the keeper there. Sarmiento hit it on a volley with his left foot. And a big save there so far for the Wolves. Probably the best save of the game so far. In the 19th minute now, from Bosco Tech in Rosemead, California. 1-0 is your score. You're listening to the live action on Spreaker.com's national sports radio. Thank you for joining me. Brian Tabajay alongside you here this morning from the Winter Tech preseason soccer tournament for your St. John Bosco Braves as they gear up for the very competitive, tough Trinity League play in Division I Southern Section play here. And Sarmiento draws a foul, and it will be a yellow card. First card of the game, that belongs to the Smid Tech Wolves, and that is Jorge Barrera. He's kind of complaining to the referee. Somewhat of a ticky-tack foul there, but unnecessary. That's why he got the yellow card. And Rene Garcia will be his substitute. As it is Rodriguez over the ball now, and the ball is about 30 yards out. And a service inside the box on a design set play. Sarmiento decides to have a go. And Bosco claiming handball, and referee says play on, no handball. The Wolves now on the far side of the field along the sideline dancing around Rodriguez. And the ball is whistled dead, either out of bounds or a foul, and he's calling the ball out of bounds. So will be a Bosco throw-in as Martinez now on the quick restart to Rodriguez. And Gill back into the game for the Braves. Loses possession to the Wolves at midfield. And Smid Tech trying to build on something here as Carpentier is playing defense and ultimately fouled. So Bosco free kick there. Is foul committed by Covarrubias. The ball back to the Braves in their own half, working from right to left on the broadcast. A long throw into Bruce, and he's knocked down, but gets the ball to his teammate Sarmiento. Rodriguez now. The service back to Gill. Gill trying to utilize that speed that he has. But Wolves playing nice defense on him. The ball now switched all the way across back to Martinez. A nice service into the box and right off of the chest, but it is another offside. So 3 offsides in the second half for the Braves. They are absolutely trying to push the tempo here and reward themselves with a goal. Drawn offsides again. And a restart here. They are down 1-0 here against the Smid Tech Wolves in the 17th minute here from Bosco Tech and Rosemead, the Winter Tech soccer tournament. Preseason games for the Braves as they gear up for the Trinity League. First game going up against Santa Margarita. As your Braves did finish second last year, Servite, the unbeaten team who won league, did have a few ties, but did finish second in league, and they did ultimately win 13 games on the season, and just losing to San Clemente in the third round, 2-1. But the Braves showing a little bit of frustration here. Sarmiento was trying to find his teammate, heading the ball down, and that just sails out of bounds, and it'll be a Wolves throw-in. 1-0 your score. A little bit of a defensive miscue there from Bosco early on in the first half provides the 2-on-1 and an easy putback for the Wolves to take the lead here in Rosemead. Bosco playing a even better half this half as the Wolves really have nothing going. As Nold now on the clearance out of the backfield, and Sarmiento decides to flick that on to Gill. Gill has Proust down the center of the field and doesn't find him. Now back on the ball is the Wolves trying to push it upfield, trying to get any counterattack, really, any attack, as Bosco's really been dominant